भवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणस्पत नः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् ॐ श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः। नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि। वदो वक्तारम् ॐ शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः। नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मवादिशं ऋतमवादिशं सत्यमवादिशं तन्मामायेत तद्वक्तारमायेत वक्तारम्। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः।
Om Amriteshware Namaha. My humble salutations and pranams to our C20 chair, Amma, Her Holiness Mata Amritanandamayi Devi, and my greetings, Namaste, Namaskarams, a warm welcome to all the distinguished civil society leaders, honorable ministers, the honorable governor, and all the eminent personalities from across the world joining us today, here and online, on this momentous occasion of the inaugural ceremony of the C20 2023 at Amritapuri, India. Sabhi ko hardik namaskar aur swagatam. As all of you know, India has assumed the presidency of the G20 this year, and the C20 is its platform for civil society organizations to bring forward a broad range of civil society perspectives and generate specific recommendations and policy proposals for the G20. भारत सरकार ने अम्मा को देश का अध्यक्ष नियुक्त किया है C20 के लिए, और हम इस उद्घाटन में भाग लेने के लिए उनकी शुभ उपस्थिति में सम्मानित और धन्य हैं. The government of India has appointed Amma as the chair of the country's Civil 20 C20, and we are honored and blessed to be in her auspicious presence to participate in this inauguration. To start the official proceedings, may I request everyone to please stand up for the Indian National Anthem.
जन जन मंगलदायक
We may all take our seats. Now, on behalf of the C20 Secretariat, the C20 Core Committee, the C20 International Advisory Committee, and the C20 Steering Committee, I would like to request the Honorable Chair, C20, founder of the MA Mutt and Amrita Institutions, world-renowned humanitarian and spiritual leader, Sri Mata Amritanandamayi Devi, Amma, to grace this occasion with the lighting of the lamp on behalf of all the dignitaries online and offline. Just as the tagline of C20, "You are the light," may the light of love and compassion guide the entire humanity in their word and deed.
तत्सयोरावृणीमहे गातुं यज्ञाय गातुं यज्ञपतये दैवी स्वस्तिरस्तु नः स्वस्तिर्मानुषेभ्यः ऊर्ध्वं दिगातु भेषजम् शन्नो अस्तु द्विपदे शञ्चतुष्पदे ॐ शान्ति 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 ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्ट्वागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः ॐ
I would like to invite Dr. Priya Nair to invoke the divine's blessings with a prayer.
ध्यायामसु विभातभानुवदना सान्द्रावबोधात्मिका तत्त्वज्ञानविभूषितामभयताम् तच्छब्दविद्योतिकाम् मन्दस्मेरसुभाषितेर्नतिकृताम् सर्वार्थिविध्वंसिकाम् ब्रह्मानन्दपरायणामतुलिताम् अम्बामृताख्यां पराम्.
Now I request our distinguished C20 Principal Coordinator, Shri Vijay Nambiar, to give the welcome address. Shri Vijay Nambiar was the former Special Advisor to the UN Secretary General Shri Ban Ki-moon. Mr. Nambiar previously served as Deputy National Security Advisor to the Government of India and Head of the National Security Council Secretariat. Besides being India's ambassador to Pakistan, China, Malaysia, Afghanistan, and Algeria, Shri Nambiar also served as India's permanent representative to the United Nations in New York. A warm welcome, sir.
First of all, let me, with folded hands, acknowledge the august presence of Her Holiness Mata Amritanandamayi Devi as the chair of C20 India 2023 and seek her gracious benediction. I also recognize the exalted presence of Padma Bhushan Sri M, founder and spiritual guide of the Satsang Foundation. In this online ceremony today, I welcome warmly the presence of the distinguished Governor of Tamil Nadu, His Excellency Sri R.N. Ravi, the Honorable Minister of Information and Broadcasting, Youth and Sports of the Government of India, Sri Anurag Thakur, the Honorable Minister of State for External Affairs, Sri Muralidharan, the Honorable Lok Sabha MP and Chairman of the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Chemicals and Fertilizer, Sri Shashi Tharoor, the distinguished Sherpa of the G20 process of the Government of India, His Excellency Sri Amitabh Kant, and the Honorable Minister for General Education and Labour of the Government of Kerala, Sri V. Shivankuti, the core team member of C20 India 2023, Vice President of the Rambhav Malgi Prabodhini, and President of the Indian Council for Cultural Relations, Sri Vinay Sahasrabuddhe, the core team member of C20 India 2023 and Vice President of the Vivekananda Kendra Kanyakumari, Srimati Nivedita Bhide, Their Excellencies, the distinguished representatives of the Troika, from Indonesia, Mr. R. Maftuchan and Ms. Alexandra Nilo from Brazil, Their Excellencies, Mr. Mark Benioff, Mr. T. Denny Sanford, and Monsieur Laurent Bessed, other noted dignitaries who are participating personally in this online ceremony from around the world, distinguished invitees and guests, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, as the case may be. While expressing my profound sense of privilege to be able to speak on this solemn occasion, I shall start by seeking the blessings of the Almighty and the grace of Amma for the successful conduct of this meeting. A warm welcome to you all. India's presidency of the G20 this year is a recognition of the important contribution we are making today in the stable management of the affairs of the global community. But as the Prime Minister of India stated publicly not so long ago, our endeavor should be to take G20 to the people and make it action-oriented. He invited people from all walks of life to engage in what he described as a Jan Bhagidari by giving their inputs, ideas, and opinions for a better world for all. In pursuing the theme of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, one earth, one family, one future, our citizens also recognize that we need to go beyond the material expectations of the global agenda and acquaint the world with India's wider capabilities, philosophy, social, and intellectual strength. As chair of the Civil 20 Engagement Group, Amma has exemplified the principles of unity, solidarity, and compassion that must form the foundation of our approach to civil society. These are values she lives by, as she quite literally embraces all who come to her as one family. In addition to Amma, as chairperson, the C20 core committee includes Sri M of the Satsang Foundation, an eminent social reformer, educationist, and chancellor of the Maulana Azad National Urdu University. Sri M is an ardent advocate of interfaith harmony and is celebrated worldwide. It also includes the Vivekananda Kendra, a social service and nation-building organization representing the heritage of Swami Vivekananda, and the Rambhau Malgi Prabodhini, which is a training institution for voluntary activists and elected representatives of the people, as well as a center for mentoring and promoting excellence, entrepreneurship, and innovation among youth. The work of India's civil society groups is marked by an open-hearted and transparent ethos and cuts across a multitude of sectors, including healthcare, disaster relief, infrastructure, diversity and civic space, support for those living in extreme poverty, for the disabled and vulnerable, education, women's empowerment, environment sustainability, leveraging of technology, and much more, demonstrating a truly holistic approach. Along with our core committee, as well as our international partners in the recently constituted steering committee and the International Advisory Committee, we hope to take forward the work of the C20 India during the coming months. In line with the Osaka principles, we have set up 14 working groups under a variety of thematic heads. These are detailed on the C20 website, and I shall not name each one of them today, just now. They straddle the areas of holistic health, resilient communities, environment, technology, gender and disability, education and digital transformation, as well as lifestyle for environment, traditional crafts and culture, river rejuvenation, seva and volunteerism, diversity, promotion of civic space, democracy, and participatory governance. Apart from the workshops and conferences on the key themes that will be conducted throughout the year, with inputs and resources provided from across all regions of the world, Civil 20, under India's chairship, will convene two major events during this year. One, an Inception conference in Nagpur, Maharashtra in mid-March, and two, the C20 summit in Jaipur, Rajasthan in end July. We recognize that amidst the natural disasters, pandemics, political conflicts, and ideological polarizations that have afflicted the world during recent years, and the continued prevalence of extreme poverty and discrimination in various parts of the globe, what the common people across the continents urgently crave for today is a message of hope, of comfort and solace, of unity and cooperation to ease their troubled minds. Above all, they crave for some compassion. This is indeed the world's missing SDG. This is also the message that the example of Amma and the other leaders representing C20 India will, I am convinced, inspire during the coming year. And through its work, the C20 will seek to make that message a growing reality. Let me, in conclusion, modestly claim that our C20 logo and tagline says it all. You are the light. As we take up the glowing lamp of selfless service, each one of us will strive to walk confidently forward as champions and exemplars, shining our own light towards a common principle and purpose, a flourishing future of peace, harmony, and cooperation. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Many thanks, Shri Vijay Nambiarji, for the warm welcome to all our guests. I would now request the team to play a small video clip symbolizing what C20 2023 stands for.
Civil 20 India 2023 envisions a concept of civil society 2.0 in a world where individual, family, society, market, and state can understand their respective roles better and supplement each other rather than engaging in conflicts. This year, The C20 symbolizes the flame of hope, self-motivation, and selfless service. Amma is grateful to the Indian government for arranging such a high-quality meeting. All the issues raised here are vitally important. This should go beyond a mere physical meeting and become a true meeting, a meeting of hearts and minds. This is the only way to awaken ourselves and others. This year, C20 working groups will focus on integrated holistic health, mind, body, and environment, sustainable and resilient communities, climate, environment, and net zero targets, education and digital transformation, gender equality and disability, technology, security, and transparency, lifestyle for environment, preservation and conservation of traditional arts, crafts, and culture, innovative ways of livelihood and employment, human rights as human values, revival of rivers and water management, seva, sense of service, philanthropy, and volunteerism. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The world is one family. Diversity, inclusion, and mutual respect. SDG 16 and promoting civic space. Delivering democracy through participatory governance.
Let me now formally introduce the chair of the C20, world-renowned spiritual leader and humanitarian, Sri Mata Amritanandamayi Devi, Amma. Amma's dedication to the upliftment of humankind is rooted in a vision of humanity's essential oneness, that we are not isolated islands, but links of a common chain. It is Amma's view that a truly positive transformation can be brought about in society only when people understand this truth and serve each other selflessly as a result. In Amma's own words, we are not isolated islands, we are like links on the same chain of creation. If we wait for others to change, we will wait forever. We should change first, then others will follow our example. Every one of us should try to become a role model. Whether we realize it or not, someone somewhere is looking up to us for inspiration. Amma serves as the chairperson of the Mata Amritanandamayi Math, leading its vast array of humanitarian programs, and as Chancellor of the Math's multi-campus deemed university, Amrita Vishwavidyapeetham. Amma, we now humbly request you to share your vision for the C20 group with us.
പ്രേമസ്വരങ്ങളും ആത്മസ്വരങ്ങളായിരിക്കുന്ന എല്ലാവർക്കും നമസ്കാരം. ഇതൊരു ശുഭമുഹൂർത്തമാണ്. ലോകത്തിന്റെ മങ്ങുന്ന തേജസ് ഒരു ശ്രമത്തിന് നമ്മൾ തുടക്കം കുറിച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞിരിക്കുന്നു. G20യുടെ അധ്യക്ഷത ഭാരതത്തിന് ലഭിച്ച ചരിത്രപ്രധാനമായ അവസരമാണിത്. G20യുടെ ഭാഗമായ C20യുടെ പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങൾ വിജയകരമാക്കുക എന്ന വലിയ ഉത്തരവാദിത്തമാണ് ഭാരത സർക്കാരും പ്രധാനമന്ത്രി ശ്രീ നരേന്ദ്രമോദിയും നമ്മളെ ഏൽപ്പിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത്. ഈ സംരംഭത്തോട് അങ്ങേയറ്റം നീതി പുലർത്താൻ നമുക്ക് കഴിയട്ടെ. ഭാരത സർക്കാരിനോടും പ്രധാനമന്ത്രിയോടും ഈ അവസരത്തിൽ പ്രതിജ്ഞ രേഖപ്പെടുത്തുന്നു. നമുക്കെല്ലാം ഒരേ മനസ്സോടെ ഒരേ ലക്ഷ്യത്തോടെ ലോക നന്മയ്ക്ക് വേണ്ടി നിസ്വാർത്ഥമായി പ്രവർത്തിക്കാൻ നമുക്ക് കഴിയട്ടെ. നമ്മളെ പിന്തുടർന്നു വരുന്നവർക്ക് നമ്മുടെ പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങൾ ശ്രേഷ്ഠമായ ഒരു മാതൃകയായി തീരട്ടെ. നമ്മുടെ ജീവിത വൃക്ഷം സ്നേഹമാകുന്ന മണ്ണിൽ ഉറച്ചു നിൽക്കട്ടെ. സക്കർമ്മങ്ങളാവട്ടെ അതിലെ ഇലകൾ, നികമ്പാപൂർണമായ വാക്കാകട്ടെ അതിലെ പുഷ്പങ്ങൾ, ശാന്തിയാകട്ടെ അതിലെ ഫലങ്ങൾ. സ്നേഹത്തിൽ ഒന്നായി തീർന്ന് ഒരു കുടുംബമായി ലോകം വളർന്ന് വികസിക്കട്ടെ. വസുദൈവ കുടുംബവും എന്ന ഈ വാക്ക് പ്രാവർത്തികമാക്കി എല്ലാവരും ഉണർന്ന് ഫലവത്താക്കാനും നമുക്ക് കഴിയട്ടെ. അങ്ങനെ ശാന്തിയും സമാധാനവും കളിയാടുന്ന ഒരു ലോകം നമുക്കെല്ലാം സായത്തമാകട്ടെ. കൃപ നമ്മളെ എല്ലാം അനുഗ്രഹിക്കട്ടെ.
Pranams, Amma. Hope we can imbibe these words of eternal wisdom and be instruments to carry Amma's vision of C20 forward. Now we would like to invite distinguished Sherpa of the G20 process of the Government of India, His Excellency Shri Amitabh Kant, to address the gathering. Shri Amitabh Kant has served as the Chief Executive Officer of Niti Aayog, a public policy think tank of the Government of India. He is the author of Branding India, An Incredible Story, Incredible India 2.0, and has been the key driver of Make in India, Startup India, Incredible India, and God's Own Country. Initiatives which have positioned and branded India and the state of Kerala as leading manufacturing and tourism destinations. Sir, we would welcome you and your thought-provoking words.
C20 Chair, Mata Amritanandamayi Devi, Vice Chair, members of the C20 Steering Committee, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am truly delighted to address this gathering for the curtain raiser event of Civil 20 or C20. I would like to begin by congratulating all the C20 members for taking up this valuable and critical task of addressing civil society's role in serving the global community through India's G20 presidency. We are fortunate that the chair for India's C20 is Her Holiness Shri Mata Amritanandamayi Devi or Amma. Amma has tirelessly spent the majority of her life at the service of humanity by raising charitable organizations like Embracing the World and Mamat, and leading ambitious humanitarian projects such as constructing more than 47,000 houses for the poor throughout India, providing scholarships to more than 50,000 impoverished children and pensions to another 1 lakh. Amma has helped 2.5 lakh women from all over India to form more than 16,000 self-help groups. This year's motto of the G20 is Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, meaning the world is one family. A motto that is truly exemplified by this year's chair, Shri Mata Amritanandamayi Devi. Our theme, as the Prime Minister has said, is a strong feeling that runs through our veins. It is a resolve that reflects what we have believed in and practiced. The mantra says that the world is one family. India has always believed in the sense of fraternity that this theme and logo reflect. We hope that with her insights, we are equipped with all the necessary components to generate a meaningful, long-term positive impact on our planet through the presidency of G20 this year. While G20 is definitely a whole of government approach, the boundaries of G20 extend well beyond the government. We see G20 as a collective effort. As the Prime Minister stressed, G20 should be made into a movement of the masses. Therefore, it is a collective endeavor to make India's G20 presidency a people's G20, involving whole of society and conducting as many Jan Bhagidari or community participation or people's partnership activities as possible. With the theme of One Earth, One Family, One Future, we take on the G20 presidency amidst a complex and challenging environment. The world today is faced with complex geopolitical tensions and conflicts, global debt crisis, issues of food, fuel, and fertilizer, climate crisis, slowing progress on the SDGs, meaning that millions of people have lost their jobs and have been pushed into poverty. But with India's G20 presidency, we see these complex challenges as an opportunity for us to get the world to unite on acting upon these challenges and to drive global consensus. The world is looking at India's G20 presidency with hope. India is the fastest growing large economy in the world as a bridge between developing countries and advanced countries. India is G7 partner, a BRICS and a Quad member, the SCO and G20 presidency, and also the voice of the Global South is in a unique position to offer lasting and meaningful solutions to collectively address global concerns. It must be our endeavor to ensure an inclusive, ambitious, decisive, and action-oriented G20 presidency, as the Prime Minister has said. And to make this happen, we need the support of all, and especially Civil 20. After all, it is Civil 20 which represents the voice of the civil society. The people from all G20 countries, and our goals, priorities, as well as outputs and outcomes must represent all their ambitions. We understand that India taking over G20 presidency also coincides with a number of interesting trends which are being witnessed in India right now. Whether it is the role of women, India today has more women than men, or the demographic dividend. India today is one of the youngest countries of the world. Therefore, our G20 priorities also have a significant overlap with women-led development and the role of youth in global development. Through C20's myriad range of dynamic activities involving the enterprising youth, the poised and determined women, and the selfless and sincere NGOs and civil society organizations, C20 can contribute in significant ways towards establishing India's G20 presidency as a beacon of hope, healing, and harmony. The recently launched logo of C20 India 2023 also strongly symbolizes the flame of hope, self-motivation, and selfless service. The C20 tagline, "You are the light," is a clarion call to all civil society organizations to come together, create their own paths, find democratic solutions, and therefore civil society is essential to any grassroots efforts towards helping the world. And its viewpoint is an asset for government leaders. We are very happy that the C20 work proposals have the capability of influencing global policies and projects regarding the social and environmental problems we're facing. It is also interesting to note that we have a number of common priorities, be it lifestyle for environment, integrated holistic health, sustainable and resilient communities, education and digital transformation, gender equality and disability, diversity, inclusion, mutual respect, and promoting civil space. We must maximize our synergies in all these areas. I'm aware that a number of activities have been conceptualized by C20, be it youth parliament, debates, seminars, cleanliness drive, as well as the C20 India Ambassador Program, initiative that focuses on inculcating a zeal for seva and volunteerism in the Indian youth. I'm extremely optimistic about the impact that C20 can create. I look forward to seeing the positive changes the C20 collective will bring about in 2023. We are all working in mission mode to ensure the resounding success of G20 presidency, and we want to make it a landmark G20 presidency. I would like to conclude with one example. When COVID-19 struck in 2020, the government of India mobilized over 100,000 CSOs who worked tirelessly to ensure the last mile delivery of services, be it relief material, testing kits, packaged foods, masks, Civil society organizations undertook massive awareness campaigns, set up shelters, assisted with testing and with vaccination. Our response to COVID was possible because civil society organizations took it to the grassroots. That was during a crisis. Today, our G20 presidency is an opportunity. Let us once again get together and take our presidency to the grassroots. We very much look forward to C20's impactful and action-oriented 150 meetings, which are scheduled to take the essence of India's G20 presidency to the Indian youth, students, and women through its range of activities. My best wishes to all of you and good work, and also for the C20 summit in July 2023. We look forward to closely working with all of you, and we look forward to getting the blessings of Mata Amritanandamayi. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I greatly appreciate the participation.
Thank you, Shri Amitabh Kanji, for your inspiring words and for your call to action. We look forward to your guidance throughout the C20 journey. The next August speaker is the head of the Satsang Foundation, a partnering organization for the C20, Shri M. Shri M is a spiritual guide, social reformer, educationist, author, and global speaker. Shri M was conferred with the Padma Bhushan in January 2020. To spread the message of peace and harmony, Shri M led the Walk of Hope in 2015-16 from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, spanning 15 months and 7,500 kilometers across 11 states of India, touching more than 10 million lives. Under the Satsang Foundation, Shri M has initiated projects for social development in the areas of education, health, skill development, and the environment. As a keynote speaker, Shri M has been invited to many institutions like the World Health Organization, United Nations Office in Switzerland, World Bank in the United States of America, and the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. Shri M is also the Chancellor of Maulana Azad National Urdu University, a central university, and he's on the faculty of the Indian Institute of Technology, New Delhi. We humbly request Shri M to share his inspiring words with all of us. Now, Shaya, as you can all see, we are having some technical communication problems. Shri MG was traveling in a vehicle and not able to connect directly through the poor internet connection. We will move on to the next eminent speaker, Shri Anurag Thakurji. Now, we would like to invite Honorable Minister of Information and Broadcasting, Youth and Sports of the Government of India, Shri Anurag Thakur. श्री अनुराग सिंह ठाकुर जी भारत सरकार की केंद्रीय सूचना एवं प्रसारण युवा कार्यक्रम और खेल मंत्री हैं। वे लगातार 4 बार हिमाचल प्रदेश से एमपी बन चुके हैं। एक तेज रणनीतिकार और युवा आदर्श, जिन्होंने 7 वर्षों तक पार्टी की युवा शाखा भारतीय जनता युवा मोर्चा के अध्यक्ष के रूप में सेवा की है। श्री ठाकुर जी को धर्मशाला में विश्व स्तरीय 5 स्टेडियम विकसित करने का श्रेय दिया गया है। वे केवल 25 वर्ष की आयु में हिमाचल प्रदेश क्रिकेट संघ के सबसे कम उम्र के अध्यक्ष के रूप में चुने गए और बीसीसीआई के अध्यक्ष भी रह चुके हैं और 16वीं लोकसभा के कार्यकाल के दौरान सबसे कम उम्र के मुख्य सचेतक के रूप में भी उन्होंने कार्य किया। श्री ठाकुर जी, वी इनवाइट यू टू शेयर योर थॉट्स विद अस।
All our followers and everyone attending the C20 meeting today. The G20 presidency of India under the able leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, had immense significance as it comes during the period of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, at a time when India also holds the chairmanship of Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and having recently concluded its presidency of UN Security Council. The engagement group meetings of which C20 is part brings together civil society, think tanks, and youth, amongst others, to deliberate on various agendas of G20 summit. I take the opportunity to welcome each and everyone attending the C20 meetings. Let me, at the foremost, acknowledge the immense role civil society plays in the development of any country, as well as its socio-economic policies. This is even more significant in a country like India, which has over a billion population, rising and ready to lead the world. The C20 chair is Srimata Amritananda ji, whom we affectionately refer to as Amma. I thank her for leading the C20 through her pivotal position. Wherever society has looked to Amma for assistance, she worked tirelessly through her various initiatives, spanning decades of humanitarian work. I wish to highlight that over 75,000 homes for the homeless, providing scholarships and pension for lakhs of improvised people, help to women start self-help group, building orphanages, running soup kitchens, and even a world-class hospital, which the Honorable Prime Minister recently inaugurated as part of her charitable civil society contributions. Amma's educational institutions are some of the best in the country. The Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham is top ranked, which focuses on providing state-of-the-art solutions to solve some of the most pressing problems faced by G20 nations and the world at large. The K-12 or nationwide Amrit Vidyalaya school system, which provides youngsters an excellent education as well as inculcates in them the universal values, is contributing towards an important aspect as India looks to achieve higher growth of literacy. On spiritual front, Amma's ashram teaches meditation, yoga, thereby spreading a healthier and soulful lifestyle in this day and age filled with stress and mental health issues. Under the leadership of Amma, the C20 is a grouping that is excited about the possibilities of the future. I'm confident the C20 will bring perspective from the civil society organizations from around the world to collaborate with the government and help bring the goals of the G20 in fruition. The recommendations that come from the C20 working groups will have the potential to impact global policies and programs across many dimensions of social and environmental challenges we face today. I believe the C20 will produce the best possible recommendations on the range of topics being addressed by the C20 working groups. This year, C20 tagline is, "You are the light." Truly, C20 discussions and deliberations will emerge as a guiding light as we plan ahead for the post-COVID world and Industry 4.0, ensuring a sustainable lifestyle for the planet and its people. I congratulate Amma for accepting this momentous role as chair and the organization championing charge as part of C20. I'm sure under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, this G20 will be a grand success. And whatever the engagement groups and the Sherpa groups we have, we're going to see the thousands of programs or events happening across the country. This is the time to showcase India's rich cultural heritage to the world. It is a time to showcase what India is. I look forward to the progress of this eminent C20 collective. Thank you once again for giving me this opportunity to join. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Our pronouns to the Honorable Minister for sharing his perspective with us. about the enormous collaboration opportunities of the government with the C20 groups. And as he said, time to showcase India's cultural heritage to the world. Many thanks, sir. The next eminent speaker is the Honorable Union Minister of State for External Affairs and Parliamentary Affairs of India, Shri V. Muralidharan. Shri Muralidharan ji was the 8th State President of the Bharatiya Janata Party in Kerala. He is also a Member of Parliament in the Rajya Sabha, the upper house of the Indian Parliament, representing the state of Maharashtra, and the Government Deputy Chief Whip. I would like to invite the Honorable Minister to address the audience.
Esteemed guests, C20 core group members and other dignitaries, Namaskaram and a good evening. I am pleased to be here in your company at the Civil 20's inaugural ceremony. Honorable Prime Minister envisions our G20 presidency to be executed in a Jan Bhagidari style mass movement where every Indian woman or man, young or old, student or skilled professional, coming from different walks of life can truly participate and contribute. Indeed, it's through the active participation and on-ground activities of the Civil 20s that we can generate such a momentum. Believing the vast capabilities of the Civil 20 team, under the able chairship of Mata Amritanandamayi Devi ji, I extend my support and warm greetings for the successful execution of all Civil 20 activities, inception and summit meetings in the following months. I wish all the Civil 20 delegates the very best for their deliberations and discussions to produce excellent outcome documents and communicate. Friends, it's my ardent wish that the Civil 20 emerges as a force that unites the hearts and makes India's G20 presidency truly a people's G20. Wish you all good luck. Namaskar.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for your very valuable insights. Our next eminent speaker is Shri V. Shivankutty, the Honorable Minister for General Education and Labour, Government of Kerala. Shri Vasudevan Shivankutty serves as the Honorable Minister for General Education and Labour. He represents the Neman constituency in the 15th Kerala Legislative Assembly. Shri Shivankutty is a state committee member of the Communist Party of India and the State Secretary of the Centre of the Indian Trade Unions, Kerala, and the District President of CITU, Trivandrum. Over to you, Honorable Minister.
Civil engagement group C20 അധ്യക്ഷ സ്ഥാനം മാതാ അമൃതാനന്ദമയി സ്വീകരിച്ചതിന് ശേഷമുള്ള ആദ്യ സമ്മേളനത്തിന് ജനുവരി 16 രാവിലെ 11 മണിക്ക് അമൃതപുരിയിലെ വൃന്ദാവന മഠം ആരോഗ്യം വഹിക്കുകയായിരുന്നു. ആഗോളതലത്തിൽ സിവിൽ സൊസൈറ്റി ഓർഗനൈസേഷനുകൾ ഒരു വേദിയായി പ്രവർത്തിക്കുക എന്നതാണ് ലക്ഷ്യമെന്ന് മനസ്സിലാക്കുക. G20 മുഖ്യവാക്യമായി നിശ്ചയിക്കപ്പെട്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ്. ഒരു ഭൂമി, ഒരു കുടുംബം, ഒരു ഭാവി എന്നതാണ്. ലോകം അഭിമുഖീകരിക്കുന്ന പലതരത്തിലുള്ള വെല്ലുവിളികൾ മറികടക്കാൻ ഉത്തമ മനുഷ്യരായി കൈവക്കുവാനുള്ള വലിയ സാധ്യതയാണ് ഇതിലൂടെ ലക്ഷ്യമിടുന്നത്. പലതരത്തിലുള്ള അഭിപ്രായങ്ങളുടെയും വീക്ഷണങ്ങളുടെയും അനുഭവങ്ങളുടെയും മൂലമായ കൂട്ടായ്മയിൽ എത്തിച്ചേരാൻ സമൂഹത്തിൽ ഏറ്റവും ശക്തമായ ഉപകരണങ്ങളിലൊന്നായി സീരിയസ് ഓർഗൻ മാറുകയാണ്. G20 ഉച്ചകോടിക്ക് മുന്നോടിയായി ഇത്തരത്തിൽ ലോകമെമ്പാടുമുള്ള ഉറവിടത്തിന് സീരിയസ് ഓർഗനുമായി C20 സഹകരിക്കുമെന്നാണ് മനസ്സിലാക്കുന്നത്. എല്ലാ ഭാവങ്ങളും നേരുന്നു. നമസ്കാരം.
Well, many thanks, Honorable Minister, for your very valuable insights. Our next eminent speaker is Shri Vinay Sahasrabuddhe. Shri Vinay Prabhakar Sahasrabuddhe ji C20 सचिवालय के प्रतिनिधि हैं और C20 कोर टीम के सदस्य भी हैं. वे राज्यसभा में महाराष्ट्र के प्रतिनिधि हैं और भारतीय सांस्कृतिक संबंध परिषद के अध्यक्ष भी रह चुके हैं. उन्होंने अगस्त 214 से सितंबर 220 तक भारतीय जनता पार्टी के राष्ट्रीय उपाध्यक्ष के रूप में भी काम किया है. डॉक्टर सहस्रबुद्धे एक राजनीतिक विद्वान के रूप में जाने जाते हैं और उन्होंने प्रमुख पत्रिकाओं में कई लेख लिखे हैं. वे रामदेव मालगी प्रबोधिनी के उपाध्यक्ष हैं, जो निर्वाचित प्रतिनिधियों और सामाजिक कार्यकर्ताओं के लिए एक रिसर्च और ट्रेनिंग एकेडमी है। इस समय वे शिक्षा, महिला, बच्चे, युवा और खेल पर संसदीय स्थायी समिति के अध्यक्ष भी हैं। हम सहस्त्रबुद्धे जी को अपना दृष्टिकोण प्रस्तुत करने के लिए आमंत्रित करते हैं।
नमस्ते। The chair of the Civil 20, Mata Amrutanandamayi Devi ji, founder of the Mata Amrutanandamayi Math, and one of the most respected spiritual leaders of India. Other dignitaries who are participating physically or virtually at this launch of Civil 20, members of the civil society, voluntary organizations, social workers, and friends. Let me first of all offer my pranams to Mata Amrutanandamayi Devi ji, and also offer my best wishes to all those who are engaged in this Civil 20 under the presidentship of India, which is certainly going to make a difference and add some new value to the global discourse about voluntary organizations, NGOs, or civil society organizations. I just want to mention over here, while offering my best wishes, that all through the year, as president of C20, India will be playing an important role and deliberating upon several subjects, including sustainability, human rights, women empowerment, democracy, and whatnot. While all these deliberations are certainly very, very important, we must assess the situation globally, also in India, throw some new light on certain emerging topics. But more importantly, I would suggest that the civil society organizations, popularly known as NGOs, today are suffering a number of challenges. And therefore, these deliberations also should take into consideration these challenges, these crises. Many a times, civil society organizations are not seen as being democratically run, adhering to the principles of transparency and accountability. And the passion with which, especially in the pre-independence era, the social workers and the voluntary organizations used to work for the society appears to be missing, at least in certain quarters. And therefore, restoring the passion, restoring the credibility, restoring the purity of purpose with which voluntary workers, social organizations should be engaging themselves in the seva of the society, I believe that is going to be the important factor that may perhaps add great value to the global discourse around civil societies, voluntary organizations, and NGOs. I believe if India, as a president of the Civil 20, can show some new path as to how do we do that, it will be a boon not only for the civil society organizations, but all the social organizations wherein we are finding a number of challenges being faced by the people. I offer once again all my best wishes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sahasrabudhe ji, for your inspiring words. I would next like to invite Srimati Nivedita Bhide. The next eminent speaker is a core team member of the C20 India 2023 and the Vice President of the Vivekananda Kendra, Kanyakumari. A social worker with the Padma Shri Award, Srimati Nivedita Bhide has devoted her life to giving back. She serves as the Vivekananda Kendra Kanyakumari's All India Vice President. She has published over 15 books, given lectures at IITs and universities around the world, and presented papers at national and international conferences. She has represented India at international seminars and has also participated in the international meeting of educational experts organized by UNESCO. Ma'am, we invite you to address the gathering. श्री निवेदिता जी, आपसे अनुरोध है कि आप इस सभा को संबोधित करें.
Most revered Mata Amritanandamayi Ma, whom we endearingly call as Amma, my humble pranams at your lotus feet. All the members of Troika Steering Committee, International Advisory Committee, all the working groups, and everyone present here. My namaskars to you all. Vivekananda Kendra, which is working in all the segments of society, whether tribal, rural, urban, and in all the fields, and in various fields like education, rural development, positive health promotion, natural resource development, women empowerment, youth development, protection of diverse traditions of communities, is very happy to be part of C20 under the great chairmanship of revered Amma. We, the members of steering committee with the guidance of International Advisory Committee, are preparing well to take to the leaders of G20 the voice of the people, those who are marginalized, aspiring, lagging behind, and also the various aspects with respect to well-being of the human society, like environment, water management, security, promotion of health. This is what we all shall be striving in the coming months. Naturally, it is a very huge consultative process because we have to meet various civil organizations nationally and internationally, consult with them, involve them, and that is how we have to collect, concretize, and communicate the aspirations and recommendations of various civil societies and as such the humanity to the G20 leaders. India, as you know, is a very vast and diverse country and also is at varying stages of development. Thus, the problems and issues are not uniform, nor they have same degree of urgency and priority. That is, there cannot be a uniform solution to the problems in India itself. Not only that, India has, so to say, 2-3 types of civil societies. That is, the traditional societies, which have come since ages, or the civil societies based on tradition, or the civil societies in which the individuals have come together around certain issues which are afflicting humanity. And thus, we shall be consulting all these types of civil societies in this process. As you know, that G20 in 2005, in its communique, had said, quote, "We recognize there is no uniform development approach that fits all countries. Each country should be able to choose the development approaches and policies that best suit its specific characteristics." Quote complete. So, G20 had also recognized there is no uniform method for economic development. I think India, a land of diversity, will be an instrumental this year in its C20 presidency also to discover and communicate that there are no uniform methods to solve the various issues that are afflicting human society. And therefore, there has to be the respect for various types of methods. There cannot be a uniform prescription. Another thing, as we all know, that India has a very unique civilizational depth, as its whole civilization is based on the truth of existence, which revered Amma referred to, that is oneness of existence. the interconnectedness, interrelatedness, and interdependence of the existence. And that is why India has got a unique way of looking at diversity, of looking at various issues that are afflicting the humanities. And that is why during all these few months that we shall be having a very huge consultative process going on, in that we shall also try to, as is the expectation from India, to give that additional Indian perspective. That is, any change that we desire, it should start from oneself. And that is why our tagline is, "You are the light." And we have to start striving for that. So in this work, we seek your best wishes, participation for enhancing the harmony in the world, and also for motivating the human being to strive for nobility and for the higher realms of life. So we hope with your support and guidance and participation, we shall be able to take this process ahead. Namaskar.
Our namaskaram to Srimati Nivedita ji for her motivational and very inspiring words. She also echoed Amma's words that every change should come from within, from oneself. Our next honorable speaker, the Honorable Lok Sabha MP and the Chairman of the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Chemicals and Fertilizers, Shri Shashi Tharoor. A former international civil servant, diplomat, bureaucrat and politician from India, as well as a writer and public intellectual, Shri Shashi Tharoor ji has been a member of Parliament since 2009. He has previously served as the UN's Under Secretary General. He was the founding chairman of the All India Professionals Congress and has been the head of the Parliamentary Standing Committees on Information Technology and Foreign Affairs. Shri Shashi Tharoor ji, a recipient of the Sahitya Academy Award, has written numerous works of fiction and non-fiction about India and topics pertaining to its history, culture, film, politics, society, and foreign policy. He has written columns and articles in nearly all major publications of the world and in India. Over to you, Honorable MP.
Namaskar. I'm Shashi Tharoor, Member of Parliament, and I'm absolutely delighted to join this distinguished gathering of members of civil society who have got together to discuss all these vital issues. And I want to extend my best wishes and my deepest gratitude to those who are participating in this year's C20 India Dialogue. It's a matter of great pride for all of us that a humanitarian like our beloved Amma has been elected as chair of this year's C20. As many of you know, the tagline for these important civil society stakeholder dialogues is "Let there be light." And there are arguably few people who more embody the spirit of this phrase and who bring light to society through their service, through their compassion, and through their dedication to the betterment of people than our chair, Amma. Not just in the spiritual realm, because she has provided balm to the countless people in distress and pain, but also for the remarkable work she has done through the organization she leads in the realm of philanthropy. While she's helped people from around the world, her service, particularly in India, for affordable healthcare and housing, as well as ensuring the security of the less privileged, have meant a great deal to us. The distinct honor and responsibility of chairing this important initiative during the course of India's presidency of the G20 is a testament to and a celebration of her legacy. A lifetime of giving to public service, providing an extraordinarily important healing ground to humanity through our boundless and inimitable grace. Civil society stakeholders who arguably channel the core concerns and aspirations of the they represent or aim for is perhaps even more significant than the ways in which governments can represent their interests. I've always deeply admired and respected how ordinary people have come forth to work for their societies. And one of the first initiatives that I undertook in my United Nations days, heading the Department of Public Information, was to establish a platform through which the United Nations could, for the first time in our era, engage with both outreach and what I call inreach to civil society stakeholders. Among the sectors that were covered through the initiatives I started included faith-based institutions, some of which were crucial to the Unlearning Intolerance series we started, which discussed issues like anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. This is something which, as somebody who's personally witnessed the power and the reach of civil society firsthand, I must say that it's a matter of both happiness and pride to see the remarkable number of NGOs and FBIs represented in the deliberations of the C20 under the energetic umbrella of civil society. At a time when our societies and communities are confronted by disruption, and there's prevalent geopolitical, social, and economic issues troubling the world. And we also argue that civil society can and must play a leading role in helping communities to effectively navigate past and address what we need to do. To solve what in my human days we call problems without us. That is, the problems that cross all frontiers uninvited, and that no one country, even a small group of countries, can solve on their own. Problems, in other words, of contagious disease, of human rights and human values, of chronic starvation and malnourishment, of massive literacy and massive displacement. All of these kinds of problems are problems that require solutions that also will be part of also across all borders. It's without borders to massive problems without passports. And that's where civil society representatives can make such a big difference. For our people to be aroused, we want when we say let there be light. Let me say that we must collectively work to ensure that the environment is developed in such a way that such organizations can thrive and continue their impressive and important with ease and with a lot of the kind of restraints that governments and official bodies have to live with. If we can successfully ensure that, and civil society stakeholders can do everything to unlock significant benefits for our humanity, it seems to us we can collectively and collaboratively address the many challenges that face our communities today. As our great constitution, as Dr. Ambedkar famously warned, indifference is the worst kind of disease that can infect the people. Decades later, we have said something similar, that the opposite of love is not hate, it is indifference. Indifference is something none of us can afford. We have to be engaged, we have to care, and vigilant humanitarians like Amma will continue to care about the causes that affect us collectively, and will continue, I know, to shine the light on the darkest corners of our common humanity. I wish you all every success, and I hope that your deliberations over the course of the C20 India dialogue is fruitful and productive. Thank you all very much.
Pranams and many thanks, Honorable Member of Parliament, Shri Shashi Tharoor, for your thought-provoking and very dynamic words. Problems without borders, no one can be in isolation, all part of one chain. Very, very true. We would now like to invite Their Excellencies, the distinguished representatives of the Troika from Indonesia and Brazil, Mr. Ah Maftuchan and Ms. Alessandra Nilo to share their perspectives. Mr. A. Maftuan, the 2017 and 2018 IMF-sponsored Civil Society Fellowship Program awardee, was the Sherpa of Civil C20 Indonesia and has focused much of his life on development and public policy advocacy issues. Let us hear from Mr. A. Maftuan.
Dear Chair of C20 India 2023, dear Troika member, dear Sherpa and Su-Sherpa, dear Steering Committee and International Advisory Committee member, dear coordinator of working group and dear civil society organization leader across the group. Welcome to the inaugural ceremony of C20 India 2023. My name is Amma. I'm the president of C20 India 2023. Previously, I am the Sherpa of C20 Indonesia 2022. Currently, I'm an executive director of the Prakasa CSO Research and Policy Advocacy based in Jakarta, Indonesia. As a Troika of C20 India 2023, I would like to express my highest appreciation for all CSOs leaders across the globe for their hard work during C20 Indonesia 2022. We have done great. Salute. And also we like to congratulate to C20 India 2023 for your presidency and for your commitment to continuing the leadership of C20 to voicing and advocating the people's aspiration to the G20 leaders. Distinguished friends, we need to strengthen our commitment and further action to work together collaboratively to establish concrete policy recommendations that be recognized and adopted by the G20 leader and translated into the real all citizens. To do that, we, the C20, must work on our principle strongly and consistently. In C20 Indonesia 2022, we use tagline, "You are heard," to give CSO more optimism that our voices heard by G20 leaders and ever to voicing the voiceless. During C20 India 2023, the tagline is "You are the light." Yes, we can feel the light in the gloomy words today, but that tagline strongly reflected the continuity and the sustainability of C20 works in the G20 forum. As the Troika and Steering Committee of C20 India 2022 and strongly committed to facilitating dialogue and coordination between civil society organizations from the G20 member countries and non-G20 member countries. We are active in the C20 working group. Finally, I look forward to working with you all during the C20 India 2023 with a stronger cooperation with the principles and value of leaving no one behind. I thank you.
Many thanks, Mr. Maftuhan, for sharing your experiences and your continuous support for C20 2023. I would like to invite Her Excellency Ms. Alessandra Nilo of the Troika C20 member from Brazil. Ms. Nilo is the co-founder and currently General Coordinator of Gestos, HIV and AIDS, Communication and Gender One, an NGO from Brazil. She has dedicated her time to improving and increasing women's influence on AIDS policy decision-making at the local, national, and international levels. She has led the campaign Women Won't Wait, Stop AIDS and Violence Against Women and Girls in LAC from 2009 up to now, and is the Regional Director of LACASO, the Latin American and Caribbean Council of AIDS Organizations, a network in 12 countries. Ms. Nilo is also a film director and screenwriter, and she has produced several pieces in her fight against inequality. Inviting Ms. Nilo to share her insights.
Saudações from Brazil. My name is Alessandra Nilo. I'm General Coordinator of Gestos, an NGO based in Recife, and that was created 30 years ago to respond to the AIDS pandemic. As you know, C20 is an open community channeling the voices of civil society around the world into the G20 process since 2013. And I'm really honored in serving our communities as one of the members of the C20 Troika this year for India and next year for Brazil. And I salute my civil society colleagues from India and Indonesia. Also salute the members of this Troika. And I salute all civil society organizations, all members of governments, multilateral organizations, and other stakeholders who are watching us today. I would love to be with you in person, but it's good that I can at least virtually participate in the ceremony that marks the formal beginning of our journey towards the next G20 meeting. And this is the key moment to us to reaffirm that the G20 is a strategic space to monitor and influence, considering that the world continues to face immense challenges in the environment, economic, and social areas, and that the responsibility of the G20 countries is still immense. Unfortunately, the evidence leaves us with no illusions. The G20 countries have not implemented the necessary solutions to make the world a less unequal, a fair, and more sustainable place. Therefore, I think it's our responsibility as civil society to continue insisting and continue reminding our leaders that there are solutions, but that these solutions depend on peaceful and democratic societies and depend on a fair distribution of wealth to flourish. In this regard, we all know that we have a lot of work ahead of us. So I'm looking forward to collaborate with all of you to support the C20 organizations all over the world for, in the next months, to develop strong, focused, and action-oriented policy recommendations to be formally submitted to G20 leaders for consideration. So let's work together with solidarity and respect to bring forth our proposals and demands with particular emphasis on environmental, gender equality, human rights, social, economic, and climate justice, so that we can walk the path of sustainable development and, of course, guided by the 2030 agenda, we can protect the planet and leave no one behind. Many thanks and all the best to the path ahead.
Many thanks, Ms. Taylor, Troika member Brazil, for sharing your perspectives as we look forward to engaging with you in the future. I would now like to invite Shri Mark Benioff. Mr. Mark Russell Benioff is an American internet entrepreneur and philanthropist. Mr. Benioff is best known as the co-founder, chairman, and CEO of the software company Salesforce, as well as being the owner of the Time magazine since 2018. Mr. Benioff has received several accolades and recognitions, including being acknowledged as one of the 10 best performing CEOs by the Harvard Business Review and as the CNN Business CEO of 2020. He has often said that his philosophy has been inspired by a meeting he had with Amma during his sojourns in India. Over to you, Shri Benioff.
Namaste and Om Namah Shivaya. I'm sending you this message from San Francisco, California. I want to send a special congratulations to Amma on becoming the leader of this incredible new and critical effort. Amachi's heart, her love, her commitment to others, her message of service. This is what we need today in our world more than ever before. I remember decades ago traveling with Amachi all over the world, whether it was in Kerala, Trivandrum, the backwaters of the Arabian Sea, but also in Australia and Europe, throughout North America, and listening to her message that we must remember to do something for other people, that it's not enough that we are successful, but we must bring others along with us. Thank you, Amachi, for your love. Thank you, Amachi, for your service. Thank you, Amachi, for your leadership and remembering to teach all of us how to become better people, and now bringing India and the G20 into this incredible message as well. I wish you well. Thank you. And I'm looking forward to being in India for the G20. Aloha.
Many thanks, Mr. Benioff, for sharing your fascinating journey with us and imbibing the message that we should always do something for others. I would now like to invite Mr. Thomas Denny Sanford, a South Dakota entrepreneur and philanthropist. He is the founder of the first Premier Bank and the chairman and chief executive officer of its holding company, United National. Mr. Sanford has been a strong supporter of children's health, family and ethical issues, and inculcating compassion in society. Over to you, sir.
Greetings to all present, here and online. The inaugural India C20 dialogue. It's wonderful to be here. I have had one of the most wonderful experiences of my life, being meeting with the people, spending time with Amma. It's been an absolutely thrilling experience for me. I've been all over the world, and there's nothing that can compare with this experience. Thank you all very, very much. I extend my congratulations to all the members taking up the valuable and important job of discussing civil society's contribution in the global development. The C20 tagline for this year, you are light. You are so resounding and especially important because this, as she welcomes us all, we come to her with kindness, love, grace, of physically embracing them. We should all strive. We should truly strive also to be the shining beacons like Amma, to devote their life to helping people, spiritually providing basic necessities such as food, water, housing, medical care, education, and jobs for those in need. It is absolutely magnificent what she does. She's a one of a kind. My congratulations and heartfelt thanks to Amma for accepting this momentous role. Fantastic role. I look forward to seeing the positive changes that are eminent in the C20 collective will bring about in 2023. Thank you very, very much. And Amma,
many thanks, Mr. Sanford, for sharing your guidance and wishes with us. It is absolutely magnificent on what she does. Absolutely true. Now we'd like to invite Mr. M. Laurent Bisset. Mr. Bisset is the legal and statutory director of the French Red Cross, at the heart of all the Red Cross actions. He has been very impressed by the scope of Amma's actions and touched by her radiance and unconditional love. We request Mr. Bisset to share his thoughts.
Bonjour à tous, je me présente, je m'appelle Laurent Bessède. Je suis de nationalité française et je suis engagé à la Croix-Rouge française depuis 30 ans, où j'occupe actuellement la fonction de directeur juridique. Comme vous le savez, la Croix-Rouge française fait partie du plus grand mouvement humanitaire mondial, le mouvement international de la Croix-Rouge et du Croissant-Rouge. Je connais Amma et son œuvre caritative depuis 25 ans. En 2004, à la suite du tsunami, la Croix-Rouge française a engagé un appel de fonds pour mener des actions solidaires de reconstruction dans les pays lourdement impactés par cette catastrophe. La Croix-Rouge française recherchait à ce titre un partenaire fiable en Inde. Au regard de la qualité des activités de l'ONG Embracing the World, ETW, un rapprochement s'est opéré entre nos deux organisations. Ainsi, la Croix-Rouge française a versé un financement de 5 millions d'euros à ETW. Ce partenariat s'est révélé de qualité et exemplaire. La rapidité et la qualité du travail engagé par ETW qui a permis la reconstruction de plusieurs centaines de maisons au bénéfice des populations les plus démunies. Je me réjouis aujourd'hui, à titre personnel, qu'Amma et ETW soient mis à l'honneur en présidant le C20. C'est la garantie que les réflexions et les propositions qui émaneront de ce groupe de travail seront de qualité, avec l'objectif d'identifier et de promouvoir des solutions concrète et efficace face aux importants enjeux humanitaires et environnementaux actuels. Pour finir, je vous souhaite la pleine réussite de vos travaux et aussi beaucoup d'enthousiasme pour les mener. Et je présente à Amma mon respectueux et affectueux souvenir. Merci. À bientôt.
Merci and many thanks, Mr. Bassett. We really appreciate your inputs and all your wishes. Now we would like to welcome the distinguished Governor of Tamil Nadu, His Excellency Shri R.N. Ravi. Shri Ravindra Narayanan Ravi serves as the current and 15th Governor of Tamil Nadu. Shri R.N. Ravi, a former bureaucrat, also served as the 18th Governor of Nagaland and the Governor of Meghalaya. The Honorable Governor has had a distinguished career in the Indian Administrative Service and was instrumental in driving the peace process in the state of Nagaland. I apologize, a distinguished career in the Indian Police Service, the IPS. He is acknowledged as one of the best administrators in this domain and has been able to bring various insurgent groups to the negotiating table. Shri R.N. Ravi has also served as the chairman of the Joint Intelligence Committee and the Deputy National Security Advisor of India. We now invite the Honorable Governor, Shri R.N. Ravi, to address the audience at the C20 inauguration.
At the outset, I offer my humble pranam to the lotus feet of our most revered Mata Amritanandamayi, our beloved Amma. And namaskar to all the dignitaries associated with C20 across the world. I share my sense of profound happiness at our beloved Amma being the chairperson of C20. And I express my thanks to her for having accepted it. Amma, with her numerous initiatives and personal grace, she has uplifted countless number of people, especially poor, marginalized, deprived, distressed, disabled. Those who are hit by natural disasters or by social prejudices. People have, some previous speakers have given some numbers. I myself feel that perhaps those numbers are gross underestimation because she has touched and helped countless millions and millions of people across the world. Here in my own state of Tamil Nadu, there are thousands and thousands of fishermen, the coastal population, whose lives were completely devastated by tsunami. They were rendered homeless and resourceless. Thanks to Amma, they got a home, their homes. Countless women, through their women empowerment initiatives, today are financially independent and leading a dignified life. Her care for the disabled and the elderly is remarkable. There have been countless beneficiaries here in my own state of Tamil Nadu. So she is the most appropriate person. I can't imagine a better choice for being the chairperson of this C20. C20 is very, very significant engagement group of G20. And to me, it appears it is the most significant because the C20 not only expresses the voice, it is able to appreciate and articulate the aspirations of the people, the global community. It has enormous pool of talent. It has profound wisdom, enormous experience, expertise. It can harness all these and can truly represent what the people of the world desire. Not only that, we know that any policy, any plan of the government for getting traction on the ground, it needs the cooperation and support of the people. Here in our country, we have seen it, how under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who makes every policy, every initiative of the government a mass movement. He calls it Jan Andolan. People's participation. And we can see, and we are seeing the result of it. In the last couple of years, incredible targets have been achieved. Take it, Swachhata, cleanliness. There was a time, until few years ago, we had the dubious distinction of having the largest number of people going for open defecation. People thought it was a cultural issue. But through mass movement, Jan Andolan, for people's participation, now today we are open defecation free within just a few years. The way we handle pandemic, such a large country, such a large problem, and so scarce resources. They were doomsayers who thought that, who had predicted enormous casualties. But with the people's participation, the way we managed the pandemic, we tide over the crisis is remarkable. It became an example. So people's participation for the success of any policy is so crucial. So what people want, what are the people's aspirations, and to involve the people in that execution of the policy, in both, C20 has a major role to play. Today, the world, we all know, is staring at major existential crisis. Be it unfolding wrath of climate change. Every now and then, some part of the world suffers the fury of nature, the devastation. The whole world witnesses it. Amma mentioned in her talk. Proliferation of weapons of mass destruction. There are so many countries with so much weapons of mass destruction that each one of them can destroy this earth many times over. The global pandemic, the one which hit us 3 years ago, we are not yet out of it. And there is no guarantee that the other one will not hit. How to collectively manage it? I think, I'm not sure whether we have learned lessons from that. So when the world is facing these numerous crises, which are existential in nature, and at the same time, we have a world where there are a lot of people who are hungry, who are poor, who are deprived. On the other hand, there are people so affluent that ever new gadgets and consumer goods are flooding the market. This iniquitous world order is unsustainable. And this world order, which emerged after the Second World War, it is all the problems that we see today have happened during this period, nearly last about 7 decades or so. It is because this world order is based on greed, not compassion. It is based on relentless pursuit of sensory pleasure, what Amma called in her address, responding to the lower impulses, satisfying the lower impulses, not evolution to the higher order. As a human being, as Rishi Aurobindo said, this earth is an evolutionary planet and humans are in the process of evolution. We are supposed to grow, evolve to a higher level. Instead, the world is beset with meeting, satisfying the sensory pleasures. And this world order is based on fear of military power, not the love of humanity. Now, this unsustainable world order, it has to change. There has to be fundamental course correction into it. The fundamental course correction in the way we look at ourselves, the way we look at others, the way we look at the nature, the way we look at Mother Earth. And today, when India is the chair of G20, the world is looking upon this country with expectation of light to show the way forward. And this expectation is to be fulfilled largely by C20, because the C20, which has the capacity, India has been several thousand years a laboratory in an experiment of harmonious living of diverse people. It is not only an experiment, a laboratory, but it is also a validation of the principle that such a diverse set of people, over 1.3 billion people, it's a world in itself. The diversities that we see in the world, they are all here in this country, be it in terms of language, be it in terms of culture, be it in terms of cuisine, be it in terms of geography. We have even in terms of ethnicity and race. All the diversities have been living together harmoniously for several thousand years. And the strength lies in what Amma said about Sanatana Dharma, which believes in inclusion of all. We all here on this earth, be it humans, be it animals, be it plants, we are all children of Mother Earth. We are all related, we are all a member of families. This earth is not, and the nature is not as a resource for us to exploit for our satisfaction, but it's for peaceful coexistence. And Amma beautifully explained it in her opening remark, in her address, that we need to look at ourselves. We need to appreciate the oneness of creation. And we need to approach the others with a sense of service. Now, with this enormous wealth, success stories that we have in this country, we need to share with the rest of the world and sensitize the rest of the world. Because unless there is an attitudinal change in the way we look at ourselves, we look at the way we look at others, the way we look at nature, the way we look at the environment, unless there is a fundamental change, we don't see any end to the problem. And under the able leadership of our Reverend Amma, I'm sure C20 will come up with recommendations, practical recommendations. I know for sure, because Amma is the one person whose everything is rooted on the ground. Her feet is always on the ground. Everything practical. No house-ending complex expressions. Complex terms with several other groups or engagement groups will be coming forward with. This group under leadership of Amma I'm sure will come up with practical, doable suggestions and recommendations. And G20 will benefit enormously out of this recommendation. I wish C20 and all those associated with it all the very best in your endeavor to make this world a happy, peaceful, and harmonious world. Thank you very much. Jai.
Honorable Governor Shri R.N. Raviji, we are so grateful for your esteemed presence and for your inspiring words and for amplifying the message of oneness and service. As our next speaker, we understand it is a breach of protocol and truly apologize to the Governor's office. But as we are all aware, Shri M, the partnering organization for the C20, was unable to join earlier due to technical difficulties. And he has sent across a message that I would now like to invite Dr. Bhavani Rao, the UNESCO Chair for Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment, to read out for all of us.
Om Amriteshwarya Namaha. It's my pleasure to read out the message from His Holiness Shri M. His message reads as follows. Respected Mata Amritanandamayi Amma, the chairperson, respected Amitabh Ji, the Sherpa of G20, respected Vijay Nambiar Ji, the Sherpa of C20, the core members of this committee, Srimati Nivedita Bhide Ji, distinguished members of the International Committee, our respected guests from the Government of India, Namaskaram, and warm welcome to this event. At the outset, let me express my humble apologies. Despite being online from 4:30, I could not participate. Sharing my thoughts on this occasion, the C20, with its core team, steering committee, working groups, have envisioned 15 issues, and each one is uniquely related to the working of society. We are working on river rejuvenation and water conservation, where I feel water is one of the most critical factor. The other issues on digitization, environment, life, seva are being addressed by our core committee. We look forward to all your support to help this engagement be a grand success. Om Amriteshwarya Namaha.
Many thanks, Dr. Bhavani Rao, and thank you for the message, Shri M. I would now like to invite Swami Amrita Swarupananda Puriji, Vice Chairman, Mata Amritanandamayi Math, for a very important announcement.
Om Amriteshwarya Namaha. My humble prostrations are Amma's lotus feet, and my namaskarams and loving greetings to all the distinguished guests and dignitaries. And I have a very, very special announcement to make. Actually, it's an announcement from our most beloved Amma. And the announcement is, Amma is happy to announce that the Mata Amritanandamayi Math and the MS Center, United States of America, will spend rupees 50 crores, which is $6.5 million over the next 12 months as part of our C20 engagement. അടുത്ത ഒരു വർഷത്തിനുള്ളിൽ മാതാ അമൃതാനന്ദമയി മഠവും മാതാ അമൃതാനന്ദമയി സെന്റർ അമേരിക്കയും ചേർന്ന് 50 കോടി രൂപ, അതായത് ഏതാണ്ട് $6.5 മില്യൺ C20യുടെ പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങൾക്കായി ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്നതാണ്. We propose to spend this amount in the activities related to the welfare of the differently abled, വിഭിന്ന ശേഷിയുള്ളവർക്ക്, and to address malnutrition, പോഷണ വൈകല്യം among pregnant mothers. വിഭിന്ന ശേഷി ഉള്ളവരുടെ ഉദ്ധാരണത്തിനും അതുപോലെ തന്നെ പോഷണ വൈകല്യമുള്ള ഗർഭിണികളുടെയും ഉന്നമനത്തിനായി ഈ തുക വിനിയോഗിക്കുന്നതാണ്. We will take up these programs in selected aspirational districts, which are the underdeveloped districts, അവികസിത ജില്ലകളിലെ of our country and also in some other developing countries, not only inside the country, but outside the country as well. We hope to work closely with the local civil society organization and the people of these countries in executing these two initiatives. We want to bring about a tangible change in the lives of the beneficiaries. Through these two initiatives, we propose to establish this an udaharan, best practice or example, which could subsequently be adopted by other CSOs and governments all over the world. The പ്രധാനമായും ഒരു ഉദാഹരണം എന്ന നിലയിൽ ഇനിയും വരുന്ന C20 പ്രസിഡൻസി ഏറ്റെടുക്കുന്ന രാജ്യങ്ങളുടെ അവിടുത്തെ NGOs അല്ലെങ്കിൽ CSOസിന് ഒരു ഉദാഹരണമായ ഒരു മാതൃകയായി ഇത് ഭവിക്കട്ടെ എന്ന് പ്രാർത്ഥിക്കുകയാണ്. ഈ പദ്ധതിയിലേക്ക്, ഇതിന്റെ പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങളിലേക്ക് എല്ലാ രാജ്യങ്ങളിലെയും സിവിൽ 20യുടെ വക്താക്കളെ, അവരുടെ പ്രതിനിധികളെ ഞങ്ങൾ ആദരപൂർവ്വം ക്ഷണിക്കുന്നു. ഓം അമൃതീശ്വരിയൈ നമഃ. Thank you so much.
Pranam Swamiji. And definitely we humbly thank Amma for taking on this massive initiative and the responsibility to create a transformational change in the lives of so many people. Humble pranams, Amma. Now I would like to invite Dr. Swadesh Singh, the C20 Sherpa for C20 2023. Dr. Singh has been the former Vice President of the BJP Youth Wing and is a BJP National Media Panelist. He received his PhD from the Jawaharlal Nehru University and serves as an Assistant Professor at Delhi University. मैं डॉक्टर सिंह से निवेदन करता हूं, उनको धन्यवाद प्रस्ताव वोट ऑफ थैंक्स देने के लिए आमंत्रित करता हूं. Requesting Dr. Swadesh Singh to please give the vote of thanks.
My humble pranam to respected Amma and all the dignitaries present here. As we know that since ages, society is at the epicenter of Indian civilization, and our message is you are the light. And through this Civil 20, we are only making that process a better process in next 7 months, next 8 months. So, and even our message is you are the light, that each individual, each civil society organization has the potential to make its own path for their well-being and the well-being of the society. Our sage says the Atmano Mokshartam Jagat Hitaya. So with this message, we will work for next 7 months. And today, all those who present here, we are very thankful to them, especially our Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu, R.N. Raviji, Union Minister of Sports and Youth, Anurag Thakurji, Kerala Government Minister Shiva Kuttiji, and Minister of State for Foreign Affairs Muralidharanji, and G20 Sherpa Amitabh Kantji. Along with that, we are also thankful to all the dignitaries present here from different parts of the world, those who join online and offline. And last but not the least, all the members of the organizing committee, our steering committee member, our international advisory committee member, our working group members, and our Troika members, Swami Amrit Swarupanand Puriji and Alessandra Nilo from Brazil, and Mafuchan from Indonesia. So we are grateful and thankful you all for participating in this program and making it great success. And we will keep working with your guidance, support in next 7 months, and we will come up with a policy pack, and we will make our society better with our collective effort. Namaskar.
Namaskar, Dr. Swadesh Singh, and many thanks to you, sir, for giving the vote of thanks. Now we are coming to the formal conclusion of the program. this wonderful, magnificent program C20 2023 India. I would request everyone to please stand up for the national anthem. Our humble pranams and many, many thanks to all of you. Om Amriteshwarya Namah.
This one.